Hi, I'm Roseanne DeTorres. I'm the managing partner of DeTorres DeGeorge Family Law. And this video is another in our series of showing our clients how we do 360 degrees of care. Here at DeTorres DeGeorge Family Law, we know that divorce and family law clients often need more than just legal advice. And that's why we partner with different professionals like Mark that can guide you and offer you services that can assist you in your journey through the legal process and beyond. And today I have with me Mark Yaces of SunQuest Funding. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
We are a residential mortgage lender. We finance 1 to 4 family homes. We do purchases, refinances, spousal buyouts, debt consolidation, renovation loans, and we understand the process and can give good advice to help people maintain their financial well-being.
Great. So how would working with a mortgage professional help somebody going through a divorce?
Well, the mortgage side and the legal side are two different issues, and a good attorney may not understand how credit affects somebody trying to get a mortgage, how to structure the marital residence so that one of the other spouses can buy it or one of the other spouses can end up in a house afterwards. So we give advice about that. Like, for instance, separate your credit. Husband and wife have joint credit, separate it. You're still going to be responsible for it, but this way, if one doesn't pay a bill or the other doesn't pay a bill, it's not affecting both of them. Okay. Tell
us a little bit about how you help an attorney make sure the marital settlement agreement has the right information in it so that somebody can qualify for a mortgage.
Okay. So there are guidelines for mortgage lending. Most of them are written by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And those are the rules that we all follow. It doesn't matter if you come to me or you go to Wells Fargo or you go to Quicken Loans. It just doesn't matter. Not that I should be putting a plug for my competition in, but it is what it is. Okay. And the rules are very specific. Like, for instance, if you're receiving child support or alimony, you have to receive it for 6 months before we count it as income. So sometimes a lawyer will put in the settlement agreement and my client, the wife, ex-wife, will apply for a mortgage immediately after the settlement, and she can't get a mortgage
because she doesn't have the 6 months of income from the spousal support.
Correct. So usually you have to put it within a year of the divorce to get so that the spouse can get the mortgage. In addition, they have to document the receipt of the support. So if it's not being paid through probation, which is easy to document because you can just get a printout from probation, so showing the money's been received. If they're not actually receiving it, we don't count the income either. So we tell them you have to document the receipt of the alimony, and it has to be for 6 months.
So let's say somebody pays the mortgage after divorce for the dependent spouse in lieu of giving them alimony. That's not the best way to proceed. They'd be better off getting the alimony payments, showing it being, say, deposited into their bank account.
Correct.
And then having proof for the mortgage application rather than somebody making a direct payment of an expense in lieu of alimony.
That does not count as alimony.
Okay. All right.
So, and it shouldn't go into a joint account, because if it goes into a joint account, it's still not proven that it's actually for the benefit of the former spouse.
Okay, so it has to go into a separate account.
That is correct.
So is there any other tips that you can tell my clients that are seeking mortgage information?
Yes. Sometimes the spouse that's the big earner wants to keep the marital residence. And so in lieu of support, sometimes I'll recommend, well, he's got this extra $200,000 in this retirement account, give it to the wife, because if he's paying another $1,500 a month in support for the next however many 30 months, then, which is the same numbers essentially, he's not going to qualify to be able to or to buy a house at all, period.
So in that scenario, that's an offset. That one person would take more of the retirement in lieu of getting equity out of the house.
Right. Or instead of support, something like that.
Instead of support.
Right, right. Because if a spouse is paying support, a former spouse, that is a liability that will affect their ability to afford a mortgage moving forward.
Okay. So it sounds like it's best for you to get involved early in the process so you can
Correct.
evaluate credit
Correct.
and
Correct.
help the client and the lawyer structure the right scenario in the settlement agreement.
Correct. And sometimes it's just impossible. You know, there's just not enough money to go around, and they have to know that the house has to be sold.
Right. And that's something that'd be better to know up front than to find that out later.
Correct. And where it may be too late.
Right.
And the other thing is that there has to be very specific language in the settlement agreement for mortgage purposes. For instance, let's say that the ex-wife is keeping the house, and there's nothing in the settlement agreement that says that the house has to be sold. There must be very specific wording in the settlement agreement that says that the wife is keeping the house and holding the ex-spouse harmless and will be responsible for the payment of the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If not, that mortgage payment will stay
on the other spouse's credit
debt ratios. It'll be on the credit anyhow.
Right.
A hold harmless, as far as a lender is concerned, means nothing.
Right.
If the house goes into foreclosure, anybody on the note's going to be held responsible,
Gotcha.
no matter what the settlement agreement says.
Great. Mark, thank you so much for those tips. We really appreciate you joining us today. Tell our audience how they can find you.
My phone number is 908-272-8330. Our website is www.sqf, like Sam Queen Frank, .net. Thanks, Roseanne.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.